Dr. Elaine Morgan stared at the screen showing the DNA sequence. Something was wrong. Or maybe something was right in a way she had never expected. She had been studying human genetic adaptability for 20 years, but this was different. Computer, run the comparison again, she said. The artificial intelligence in the Lunar Research Station followed her command. The results were the same. Humans could adapt to environmental changes at rates that were impossible according to current scientific understanding. Elaine rubbed her tired eyes. The lunar gravity made her feel lighter, but 3 days without proper sleep made her mind heavy. This discovery could change everything they knew about human evolution. She needed to report this to Earth, but first, she needed proof that would convince others. Dr. Morgan, there's a call for you from Director Collins, said the station's communication system. Elaine sighed. The director always seemed to call at the worst moments. Put him through. Director Collins appeared on the screen. His face looked worried. Dr. Morgan, have you seen the news from deep space? No, I've been in the lab for days. What's happening? The survey ship Horizon has found something near Tau Ceti, something not human. They want you on the next transport. Elaine's heart raced. They found aliens? Why do they need me? The aliens are sick, and Captain Baker thinks your research might help them. 3 days later, Elaine boarded the transport to rendezvous with the Horizon. Space travel had become faster in recent decades, but the journey still took 2 weeks. She spent the time reviewing her research and wondering what kind of aliens were waiting for her. When she arrived, Captain George Baker met her at the docking bay. He was tall, with a strong build and a serious face that rarely smiled. Dr. Morgan, thank you for coming, he said, shaking her hand firmly. What I'm about to show you is still classified information on Earth. Only the highest levels of government know. I understand, Captain. Tell me about these aliens. They walked through the ship's corridors. Crew members nodded respectfully as they passed. Everyone seemed tense. They call themselves the Vexari, Baker explained. Their ship was damaged when we found it. They were drifting without power. We brought 6 of them aboard. Their ambassador, Zalthar, speaks our language. Apparently, they've been watching us for some time. Watching us? Yes. They've monitored Earth from a distance for at least 100 years. They find us interesting. They reached the medical bay. Through the observation window, Elaine saw them for the first time. The Vexari were humanoid, but clearly not human. Their skin was pale blue with a pattern of darker blue lines. They had 4 fingers on each hand and large eyes that seemed to see in all directions. One of the Vexari noticed them and approached the window. This one wore a silver garment that seemed to flow like water. That's Zalthar, said Baker. The ambassador. Elaine put on a protective suit before entering the medical bay. The doctors assured her it wasn't necessary, as the Vexari weren't carrying any diseases dangerous to humans, but protocol demanded caution during first contact. Zalthar bowed slightly when she entered. Dr. Morgan, your reputation precedes you. Thank you for coming to our aid. His voice had a musical quality and his English was perfect, though slightly formal. How do you know me? Elaine asked. And how do you speak our language so well? We have monitored your scientific communications. Your work on genetic adaptability is fascinating to us because it represents something unique in our experience. As for your language, we have excellent translation technology and have studied Earth's broadcasts for decades. Elaine nodded, trying to hide her shock. Captain Baker says you're sick. How can I help? Zalthar's large eyes blinked slowly. My species faces extinction, Dr. Morgan. We suffer from a genetic degenerative disease that affects all Vexari. Our scientists have tried for generations to find a cure, but we lack something that humans have in abundance. Genetic plasticity. Genetic plasticity? Your ability to adapt, to mutate, to evolve rapidly in response to your environment. Most intelligent species in the galaxy have highly specialized genetic codes. We are perfectly adapted to our homeworlds but vulnerable to changes. Humans are different. Your DNA shows remarkable flexibility. Elaine thought about her recent discovery on the lunar station. That's why you want my help. Yes. We believe human genetic material might hold the key to saving our species. Over the next few days, Elaine worked with the Vexari scientists. They showed her their genetic code, which was similar to DNA but more rigid in structure. The degenerative disease was caused by their inability to adapt to subtle radiation changes in their home system as their star aged. Your discovery confirms what we suspected, Zalthar told her as they reviewed her lunar research. Humans have an unprecedented ability to adapt genetically. We believe this is why your species survived numerous extinction events on Earth, but this raises more questions, said Elaine. If genetic stability is the norm for intelligent life, why are humans different? Zalthar's expression was hard to read. That is one of the great mysteries. Some in the Galactic Council believe humans were tampered with long ago. Galactic Council? There are more species out there? 27 spacefaring civilizations form the Council. Earth is not yet invited because you've only recently developed space travel. But your discovery and our situation might change that. Captain Baker joined them, bringing news from Earth. The highest levels of government had approved a genetic research program to help the Vexari. They want us to bring your ship to Earth orbit, Baker told Zalthar. Our best scientists will help you. That is generous, but not possible, said Zalthar. News of our contact with humans has reached the Council. They have concerns about your species. Instead, they have invited a human delegation to attend an emergency session. The Council wants to evaluate humans before approving any genetic exchange. Evaluate us? For what? Asked Baker. To determine if you are a threat, said Zalthar. Many Council species fear your genetic adaptability. They worry that humans might spread throughout the galaxy, changing and adapting in ways that could disrupt the balance of power. We just want to help you, said Elaine. I know, but others are not convinced. The Council must decide whether to quarantine humanity or welcome them into galactic society. Baker looked concerned. And if they choose quarantine? Zalthar's eyes darkened. Then your species would be confined to your solar system by force if necessary. But I will speak for humans. Your genetic gift could save not just my people, but many others facing similar challenges as environments change throughout the galaxy. Elaine looked at the genetic sequences on the screen. Human DNA next to Vexari. So similar in many ways, yet so different in flexibility. When do we leave for this council? She asked. Tomorrow, said Zalthar. We must hurry, both to save my people and to ensure yours has a place among the stars. As Elaine packed her research data, she wondered what this meant for humanity. They had dreamed of finding alien life for centuries. Now they had found it, only to discover that humans themselves might be the greatest anomaly in the galaxy, the ultimate mutation engine in a universe that preferred stability. 6 months had passed since the first meeting with the Vexari. Dr. Elaine Morgan stood beside Captain George Baker on the observation deck of the alien ship. Space stretched endlessly before them, stars shining like diamonds on black velvet. Their Vexari escort, Zalthar, looked healthier than when they first met. The experimental gene therapy Dr. Morgan had developed was working. We are approaching the Council station, said Zalthar. His blue skin had regained some of its shine, and the dark lines that marked his species looked more defined. It orbits a neutron star. The radiation would kill most species, but the Council built shields strong enough to block it. The ship slowed as a massive structure came into view. The Galactic Council headquarters was bigger than any space station humans had built. It looked like a giant wheel with spokes extending from a central hub. Ships of various shapes and sizes moved around it like bees around a hive. How many aliens will be there? Asked Elaine. Representatives from all 27 Council species, said Zalthar. Some look somewhat like humans. Others are very different. Try not to show surprise or fear. We'll do our best, said Baker, adjusting his uniform. Earth's governments had chosen him and Dr. Morgan as humanity's first official representatives to the Galactic Council. The scientist Yara Williams had also joined them, bringing samples of successful human genetic treatments. Their ship docked at the station. Gravity felt slightly stronger than Earth normal as they stepped onto the station. The air smelled clean but different, with a hint of something sweet. Zalthar led them through corridors filled with aliens. Some walked on 2 legs, others on 4 or more. Some floated above the ground. Colors, shapes, and sizes varied wildly. Yet despite the differences, all moved with the purpose and intelligence of thinking beings. Many aliens stopped to stare at the humans. Some seemed curious, others wary. "They've never seen humans before?" asked Yara. "Most haven't," said Zalthar. "Some council species wanted to keep Earth quarantined until we better understood your genetic uniqueness. This meeting will decide if that quarantine becomes official policy." They reached a large chamber with a circular arrangement of seats. Each section had been adapted for different body types. In the center was a raised platform where speakers could address the council. An alien with golden skin and 6 limbs approached them. Its voice came through a translator device. "I am Krivax, Elder of the Council. Welcome to the first official meeting between humanity and the galactic community." The humans bowed slightly, following Zalthar's example. "Thank you for inviting us," said Baker. "We come in peace and friendship." "Peace is not always guaranteed when different species meet," said Krivax, "especially when one species is as unusual as yours." The council session began. Representatives from each species took turns speaking. Some welcomed humans cautiously. Others argued for immediate quarantine, calling humans a potential threat to the genetic balance of the galaxy. Reptilian alien named Thresh stood to speak. "Intelligent life evolves toward genetic stability, not flexibility. This is the pattern across thousands of worlds. Yet humans break this pattern. They continue to adapt and change long after achieving intelligence. Why? Is this natural, or was there tampering?" Whispers spread through the chamber at the suggestion of tampering. "There is no evidence of artificial manipulation in human DNA," countered Zalthar. Their world had unusual evolutionary pressures, rapid climate changes, diverse environments, numerous extinction events. They evolved adaptability because they needed it, or because someone wanted them to have it, said Thresh. Whatever the reason, they represented danger. A species that can adapt to any environment could spread unchecked across the galaxy. A rumble of agreement came from several council members. Krivax gestured for Dr. Morgan to speak. She stepped onto the central platform, feeling the eyes of alien beings on her. "My name is Dr. Elaine Morgan of Earth," she began. "I have studied human genetics my entire career. Our adaptability isn't something we chose or created. It's simply how we evolved. And we want to use it to help others, not harm them." She displayed her research data, showing how Earth's changing conditions had shaped human evolution. Other intelligent species evolved on stable worlds. You became perfectly adapted to your environments. Humans faced constant change, so we evolved to be adaptable, rather than specialized. "And what prevents your adaptability from becoming domination?" asked an insect-like council member. "What if humans spread to our worlds and adapt to outcompete native species?" Baker stepped forward. "Humans have moved beyond natural selection. We use our intelligence to direct our development. We don't need to outcompete others to survive. We can cooperate." This triggered more debate. Some council members remained suspicious, while others seemed intrigued. Finally, Yara Williams asked to speak. She was younger than Morgan and Baker, with a calm confidence that served her well under the alien gazes. "Rather than telling you what humans might do, let me show you what we've already done," she said. She presented case studies of genetic treatments developed on Earth that had been adapted for 3 different council races suffering from genetic disorders. The results showed remarkable success. "These aren't theoretical treatments," said Yara. "They're working now, saving lives. This is how humans want to use our genetic knowledge, to help, not harm." The council debated for hours after the humans finished speaking. Finally, Krivax called for a vote. The humans waited anxiously as each representative indicated their decision. When the voting finished, Krivax announced the results. By a narrow margin, the council has voted to establish formal relations with Earth and create a joint research initiative focused on beneficial genetic technologies. Relief washed over the human delegation, but Krivax wasn't finished. However, There will be restrictions. Human ships may not visit Council worlds without permission. Human genetic technology will be closely monitored. Any sign that humanity is using its adaptability against other species will result in immediate quarantine or worse. Baker nodded. We understand and accept these terms. As they left the chamber, Elaine noticed a group of aliens watching them, intently. They had dark green scales and yellow eyes with vertical pupils. Who are they? She asked Zalthar quietly. The Dravine Concordat, he replied. They voted against humans joining the galactic community. They believe in strength above all else, and they fear your species might become stronger than theirs. We're not looking for power, said Elaine. Not all will believe that, said Zalthar. The Council's vote is just the beginning. You've gained the right to prove yourselves worthy of trust. The real work starts now. As they walked back to their ship, Elaine thought about what this meant for humanity. They had avoided quarantine but gained both new friends and new enemies. The galaxy had opened to them with all its wonders and dangers, and humans, with their unique adaptability, would need to find their place in it. 2 years had passed since the Galactic Council vote. The joint research initiative between humans and Council species had grown beyond all expectations. Human scientists worked throughout Council space, while alien technologies transformed Earth's capabilities. New medicines cured diseases once thought untreatable. Space travel became faster and more efficient with alien engineering. Dr. Alex Martinez led the research team on the Vexari homeworld. He had been one of Dr. Morgan's students before the first contact, and his expertise in genetic adaptation made him perfect for the role. The Vexari welcomed him like a hero. Their people were recovering thanks to the gene therapy developed from human DNA. The latest results are better than we hoped, said Kelnor, the chief Vexari scientist, as they reviewed patient data. 90% of treated subjects show complete reversal of symptoms. Alex smiled. The lab felt strange to human senses. The gravity was lighter than Earth's and the air had a sweet smell, but he had grown used to it. We should start planning the next phase. We need to make sure the treatment works for future generations too. Kelnor nodded, his blue skin shimmering under the lab lights. My people have hope again because of humans. Some even talk of you as saviors sent by the universe itself. We're just scientists doing our job, said Alex modestly. His communication device buzzed. It was Dr. Elaine Morgan calling from Earth. Her face looked worried when it appeared on the screen. Alex, we have a problem, she said without greeting. Several Vexari patients are showing unexpected reactions to the treatment. Alex frowned. What kind of reactions? My patients here are doing well. These are different. Bodies changing in ways we didn't predict. Some are growing new organs. Others show brain changes. The council is concerned. They've called an emergency meeting. Before Alex could reply, alarms sounded throughout the Vexari Research Center. He turned to Kellner. What's happening? The Vexari checked his monitors, his large eyes widening with shock. Multiple patients are exhibiting rapid mutations. This shouldn't be possible. In the next hours, chaos spread. Reports came in from across the Vexari homeworld of patients developing strange mutations. Some grew extra limbs, others developed new sensory organs. Some changes seemed beneficial, enhanced strength or intelligence. Others were horrifying, painful growths or neurological damage. The Galactic Council quickly ordered all human genetic research halted. News spread through Council space that human DNA had caused a mutation disaster among the Vexari. Some called it an act of biological warfare. George Baker, now Admiral of Earth's growing space fleet, received urgent orders to evacuate human scientists from increasingly hostile alien worlds. But Alex refused to leave the Vexari. I need to fix this, he told Admiral Baker over a secure channel. These people trusted me. I won't abandon them. The Dravine are calling for war against Earth, Baker replied grimly. They claim we deliberately infected the Vexari with a genetic weapon. The Council might believe them. It's not a weapon, Alex insisted. Something in our treatment interacted with Vexari biology in ways we didn't predict. Give me time to find answers. Baker looked doubtful but agreed. You have 2 weeks. After that, I'm sending ships to get you out, whether you want to go or not. Working day and night with Kelnor and a small team of loyal Vexari scientists, Alex studied the mutating patients. The pattern was strange. The human-derived treatment seemed to have activated dormant parts of the Vexari genetic code. It's like our DNA woke up something that was sleeping in yours, Alex explained to Kelnor. A virus, maybe. Not dangerous to humans, but it acts like a genetic accelerant in Vexari. Could the Dravine be involved? Asked Kelnor. They opposed the human-Vexari cooperation from the start. Why would you think that? The mutations started in patients treated at facilities where Dravine observers were present. This new information led them to check the original treatment formula against what was actually given to patients. The difference was subtle, but real. The Dravine had modified the treatment, apparently hoping to discredit humans, but the weapon backfired, proving more potent than they had expected. Meanwhile, something unexpected was happening with the mutating Vexari. After the initial chaotic changes, their conditions began to stabilize. Many developed enhanced abilities, stronger immune systems, improved healing, greater intelligence. The pain subsided as their bodies adapted to the changes. Alex sent his findings to Earth and the Council. The mutations are stabilizing into beneficial forms, he reported. The Vexari are becoming more adaptable like humans, and we have evidence. The Dravine tampered with our treatment to create this crisis. The Council sent investigators who confirmed Alex's findings. The Dravine representatives denied everything, but evidence of their sabotage was clear. Their plan to turn the Council against humans had failed. As the crisis eased, a new problem emerged. Other species began requesting the enhanced treatment given to the Vexari. They saw the improved Vexari and wanted the same advantages. This isn't a decision we can make lightly, Dr. Morgan told the Council at another emergency session. We don't fully understand what happened. Controlled genetic adaptation is one thing. Rapid mutation is another. Council Elder Krevax, who had been cautiously supportive of humans, looked troubled. This confirms what many feared. Human genetic science is too unpredictable, too powerful. Perhaps a quarantine is still the wisest choice. Before you decide, said a new voice, hear from those most affected. A Vexari stepped forward. His body showed signs of the mutations, an extra joint in his arms, slightly altered facial features, skin that shifted colors slightly as he moved. It was Zalthar, the ambassador who had first contacted humans. I was among the first to receive the treatment, he said. Yes, the changes were frightening at first, but now I am stronger, healthier, and more adaptable than any Vexari in our history. Our species faced extinction because we could not change. Humans gave us the ability to evolve. The council chamber filled with murmurs as other species debated what this meant. Admiral Baker watched the proceedings with concern. Even if the council accepted the Vexari's new status, the Dravine had shown they would go to any length to stop human influence from spreading. As the council debated, warning signals flashed across communication systems. Reports came in of strange, environmental changes throughout council space. Radiation levels were rising near several key star systems. Gravitational anomalies appeared without explanation. Something big is happening, Alex told Dr. Morgan as they reviewed the data. And I don't think anyone in the galaxy is prepared for it. No one except maybe humans, and now the Vexari. The mutation crisis had revealed a deeper truth. The galaxy was entering a period of unprecedented change, and only species that could adapt would survive. The galaxy was changing faster than anyone had predicted. 6 months after the Vexari mutation crisis, scientists confirmed what Dr. Martinez had suspected. Ancient stellar engineering projects created by a long-extinct precursor race were beginning to fail. These massive structures had maintained stable conditions in many star systems for millions of years. Now they were breaking down, causing radiation spikes and gravitational anomalies throughout council space. Dr. Nancy Harper stood before the emergency council session. As Earth's leading expert on radiation adaptation, She had been asked to present humanity's findings. Most council species evolved during the stable period created by the precursor technology, she explained. Your bodies and societies are perfectly adapted to unchanging conditions, but those conditions are ending. Within 50 years, at least 18 council homeworlds will become uninhabitable without intervention. The council chamber erupted in panic. Representatives argued about what to do. Some suggested massive engineering projects to repair the precursor technology. Others proposed evacuation plans to relocate entire species. Krivax, the golden-skinned elder, raised his 6 limbs for silence. Dr. Harper, what does Earth suggest? Nancy took a deep breath. The engineering solution would take too long. Evacuation would cause massive social disruption. We propose a third option: controlled genetic adaptation. Using what we've learned from the Vexari experience, we can help each species adapt to changing conditions. Murmurs filled the chamber. The Vexari representatives stood in support. Their species had stabilized after the initial mutations, emerging stronger and more resilient. But other council members looked uncertain. You want to change our very nature? Asked the representative of the Hollow Collective, a species of crystalline beings sensitive to radiation changes. Not your nature, Nancy clarified. Just your ability to survive in new conditions. The core of who you are would remain unchanged. The debate continued for days. Eventually, most council species reluctantly agreed to work with human scientists on adaptation plans. Only the Dravine Concordat refused. We will find our own path to survival, their representative declared before walking out of the council chamber. In the months that followed, human genetic specialists worked with each species to develop customized adaptation plans. The work was delicate, trying to balance survival needs against maintaining each species' unique identity. Admiral Baker watched these developments with growing concern. His intelligence officers reported unusual activity in Dravine space. There, ships were gathering. Military installations were expanding. They're preparing for something, he told Earth's Leadership Council. And I don't think it's peaceful. His fears proved correct. Dravine agents infiltrated research facilities across council space, stealing human genetic technology. When caught, one agent revealed their plan before taking his own life. The strong survive, the weak perish. This is the natural law the council has denied for too long, the agent said. The Dravine will emerge as the rightful rulers of a new galaxy. Analysis of Dravine communications confirmed the worst. They had taken human genetic technology and weaponized it, creating soldiers adapted for conquest. While other species worked on minimal adaptations for survival, the Dravine pursued extreme changes for warfare. Admiral Baker assembled a coalition fleet. The human flagship Endeavour led council forces to the Callisto Nexus, a strategic point where several jump routes connected. Intelligence suggested the Dravine would strike there first. Lieutenant Paul Davis commanded a small reconnaissance vessel scouting ahead of the main fleet. His ship detected unusual energy signatures from an approaching Dravine fleet. Sir, they're not showing up on our regular scans, he reported to Admiral Baker. Only our radiation detectors are picking them up. How many ships? Baker asked. Least 50. Much more than we expected. And they're moving in a strange pattern. The coalition fleet prepared for battle. Human tactical officers worked with alien strategists to plan their defense. Though outnumbered, they had diversity on their side. Each species brought unique capabilities to the fight. When the Dravine attacked, they revealed their ultimate weapon, ships crewed by genetically enhanced soldiers who could survive in vacuum, without protection. When coalition forces disabled Dravine ships, the crew simply floated through space to board enemy vessels. They've modified themselves to survive hard vacuum, Dr. Harper reported in horror from her lab on Earth, where she monitored the battle data. But there must be a cost. No adaptation comes free. Lieutenant Davis, forced to retreat after his ship was damaged, noticed something odd. The enhanced Dravine troops moved quickly at first but slowed after about 20 minutes in space. Some began to struggle visibly. They can't regulate their rapid mutation rate, he realized. They're burning through their energy reserves too quickly. He transmitted this finding to Admiral Baker, who developed a new strategy. Rather than engaging in direct combat, the coalition forces extended the battle, forcing the Dravine to maintain their enhanced state for longer periods. Keep them active, Baker ordered. Make them chase us. Don't let them rest or return to their ships. Hours passed. The coalition ships took damage, but kept moving, drawing the Dravine forces into an increasingly desperate pursuit. Just as Davis had predicted, the enhanced soldiers began to falter. Some drifted lifelessly in space. Others retreated to their ships, no longer able to maintain their vacuum adaptation. Now, Baker ordered when the Dravine forces had scattered and weakened. The coalition fleet turned and attacked with full force. Without their biological advantage, the Dravine ships fell quickly to the combined firepower of the Alliance. The remaining Dravine vessels retreated, jumping back to their territory. The battle was won, but the war was just beginning. And the greater crisis of galactic environmental change remained unsolved. After the battle, Lieutenant Davis led a team to examine captured Dravine technology. What they found disturbed him deeply. They weren't just enhancing their soldiers, he reported to Baker. They were trying to create an entirely new form of life, one that could conquer any environment. But they rushed the process. Their enhanced troops were unstable, burning through their energy too quickly. Baker nodded grimly. They misunderstood what makes human adaptation special. We don't just change for change's sake. We adapt thoughtfully, balancing costs and benefits. As reports of the coalition victory spread through Council space, many species looked at humans with new respect. The same genetic flexibility they had once feared had saved them from Dravine conquest. Dr. Harper continued her work, focusing now on helping species adapt to the worsening environmental conditions. Early results were promising. With careful application of human genetic techniques, Council species could develop limited adaptability without losing their essential nature. We're not turning everyone into humans, she explained to concerned Council members. We're just giving you some of our flexibility in carefully controlled ways. Admiral Baker knew the Dravine would return, probably with refined versions of their enhanced soldiers. But he also knew that the coalition was growing stronger. Together, they might have a chance not just to survive the coming changes, but to create something new and better. The galaxy is in the middle of an evolutionary arms race, he told his officers, and humans just became the most valuable allies anyone could have. 5 years had passed since the battle with the Dravine. The galaxy had changed in ways few could have imagined. With human help, many Council species had incorporated limited genetic modifications that allowed them to survive in changing environments, while maintaining their essential identities. Dr. Elaine Morgan, now in her 70s, watched from her office window as students of various species walked through the gardens of the Galactic Evolutionary Institute on Earth. She had founded the institute 3 years ago, creating a place where scientists from all Council races could work together on controlled adaptation techniques. Dr. Morgan, your next appointment is here, said her assistant. Elaine smiled when she saw who entered. Dr. Lisa Grant, a brilliant young geneticist who had been her student years ago. Lisa had made remarkable discoveries about genetic adaptation that even Elaine hadn't anticipated. I've been reviewing your latest findings, Elaine said after they greeted each other. Are you certain about these cognitive enhancements? Lisa nodded excitedly. Completely certain. We've documented it in 7 different species now. The controlled genetic adaptation process has awakened dormant cognitive abilities. It's not just about physical survival anymore. These species are thinking in new ways. Show me the data, Elaine said. Lisa displayed her research on the screen. The evidence was clear. Species that had undergone the adaptation process were developing new problem-solving approaches, enhanced creativity, and improved learning abilities. Each species showed different types of cognitive growth, based on their existing neural structures. This explains the technological boom we've been seeing, Elaine said thoughtfully. The diversity of thought is accelerating progress beyond anything we predicted. Across the galaxy, this acceleration was visible everywhere. New ships traveled faster than ever before. Medical treatments cured diseases once thought hopeless. Communication systems connected distant worlds instantaneously. The combined intelligence of multiple adaptive species had created a golden age of innovation. That afternoon, Elaine attended a ceremony at the new council headquarters, now located in Earth orbit as a symbol of humanity's central role in galactic society. Admiral George Baker, retiring from military service after a distinguished career, was accepting a position as Earth's representative to the reformed council. The old council treated each species as separate and unchanging, Baker said in his acceptance speech. The new council acknowledges the interconnectedness of all intelligent life. We are different, yes, but we can learn from each other and grow together. The council structure had indeed changed dramatically. Rather than each species having a single representative, council members were now chosen for their expertise in various fields, regardless of their species. This new approach recognized that diversity within species had become as important as diversity between them. After the ceremony, Baker spoke privately with Elaine. "Have you heard the news from the former Dravine homeworld?" Elaine nodded. "Lisa told me. Is it true they're allowing a multi-species settlement?" "Yes." After their defeat, the Dravine split into factions. The militarists retreated to their colony worlds, but a reformed group stayed behind. They've opened their homeworld to all species, creating a community dedicated to exploring controlled evolution. "I never thought I'd see Dravine working with other species," Elaine said. "People can change," Baker replied with a smile, "sometimes faster than their genes." Meanwhile, on the former Dravine homeworld, now renamed Nova, the experimental community was thriving. Individuals from 15 different species lived and worked together, each bringing unique perspectives and abilities. Among them was Zalthar, the Vexari ambassador who had first contacted humans years ago. Zalthar worked with a small group of reformed Dravine who had rejected their leadership's militant approach. Together, they studied the ruins of an ancient civilization discovered beneath the planet's surface. The precursor race that had built the now failing stellar engineering projects had left behind more than technology. They had left messages. "We've decoded another section," said Carax, a young Dravine scientist. Her scales were a lighter green than typical for her species, a sign of the subtle genetic adaptations her people had accepted after their defeat. "I think you should see this." Zalthar examined the translation. The ancient text described how the precursor race had evolved beyond physical form, transcending the limitations of biological bodies. The environmental changes happening throughout the galaxy weren't system failures but a deliberate test, a way to push current species toward greater adaptation and cooperation. "We need to share this with Dr. Grant," Zalthar said. "Her work on cognitive enhancement relates directly to this." Dr. Lisa Grant arrived on Nova a week later. She brought with her data from species across the galaxy, showing similar patterns of cognitive growth following genetic adaptation. "It's not random," she explained to the gathered scientists. "The controlled adaptations are following a pattern, a path that the precursors seem to have mapped out millions of years ago." More discoveries followed as they continued to translate the ancient texts. The precursors had seeded the galaxy with various species, each with different strengths and weaknesses. Some had physical advantages, others mental ones. But all had limits built into their genetic code, limits that could only be overcome through cooperation and controlled adaptation. Humans were different, Lisa realized as she studied the texts. We weren't limited in the same way. Our genetic plasticity wasn't random chance. It was a key the precursors left behind, a catalyst meant to unlock the potential in all species when the time was right. 3 months later, Lisa presented these findings to a special gathering of the Reformed Council. Representatives from all species listened in stunned silence as she explained humanity's true role in the galactic order. "We weren't meant to dominate," she concluded. "We were meant to catalyze. Our adaptability wasn't a threat, but a gift meant to be shared." The precursors didn't want one species to replace all others. They wanted all species to grow together, each contributing unique perspectives to a greater whole. After the presentation, Dr. Elaine Morgan walked slowly through the council gardens with Zalthar. Despite her age, her mind remained sharp. Did you ever imagine when your damaged ship first encountered humans that this is where we would end up? She asked. Zalthar's color-shifting skin rippled with emotion. Never. We thought you might save our species from extinction. We never dreamed you would help transform the entire galaxy. Not transform, Elaine corrected gently. Evolve. And we're just beginning. The precursors left us a path to follow, but where it leads is still up to us. As they looked up at the stars visible through the station's transparent dome, they both wondered what the next stage of evolution might bring. Humanity had served as the galaxy's mutation engine, but the engine was now running in all species, each changing in their own unique way, while remaining true to their essential nature. The future would not belong to any one species. It would belong to all of them, growing and changing together just as the precursors had intended all along.